I want to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. I'm known as the Divine Medium, and I have been predicting everything that's been going on since 2014. When you go to these different realms, when you talk to these different realms, because you are able to talk to these other realms, you can cross over freely in and out without restraint. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because when you do this, like tonight when we talk to one of the galactic beings, because I already have about 5 of them here, what's going to happen is I'm going to start going into a different timeline. It will almost be like I'm time traveling, but only if you're ready. If you're not ready, it's not going to happen. You have to be DNA downloadable ready. You will be able to enter these realms. Keep in mind that you are, again, time traveling. So the time is going to be extremely different when you cross in and out of these realms. You will either go thousands of years into the future, or you will go thousands of years into the past. It just depends on where you go in that realm and who you're going to talk to. If you see somebody behind me, it's either going to be Jesus or it's going to be Maria, my guide. And then we also have 5 galactic beings, but they are in the room. They're not going to be behind me. They're going to be outward in front of me. But galactic beings are very different from spirit beings. Galactic beings, it's like having a surround sound on. It sounds like they're coming at me from all around the room, whereas a spirit, if they're talking to me, they're like to the left of me, or they're to the right of me, or they're in front of me. Galactic beings, it's surround sound. So I don't know where in the room exactly they're going to be because it's coming in at me at all directions, okay? The communication's extremely different. You know what? I have a galactic being with me already, and he likes to doodle. I've never done doodle channeling. That's different.
You'll be the first.
So I don't even know what to do with this. This is different. Oh man, he's making me really dizzy. Okay, this is interesting. I'm in the year 3038. Wow, what the hell am I seeing? Okay, he's showing me Earth from 3038. You know, a lot of these devices remind me of Leonardo's drawings, like in his journals.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Okay, you know that twirly thing in Leonardo's journal where I think you had to have like 3 or 4 people push it and it spiraled and flew? Do you kind of get what do you remember that journal?
No.
Piece?
No, I do not remember the journal.
Here, wait. Oh, probably because I knew him and I still mentor with him. Let me put this in here. I know what I'm seeing. I'm trying to put it in a form where you and them can understand. Okay, Leonardo. Contraptions. Oh, there it is. It's right there. It's the first one that came up. It's this one. That one. And 3 to 4 people stand in this little thing and they push it and it flies. It's a flying machine. It's basically a spaceship. This one. See that in the circle? And then 3 to 4 people stand on this platform and they push it till it flies. And you keep pushing and pushing. Like,
oh, wow. That's neat.
But it reminds me of a spaceship. Where the heck did my stuff go? I'll probably just do it as... He was making me do doodles, and then I didn't need the doodles anymore. I went past the physical holdback of me listening to what he needed to show me. Okay, so I don't need the doodling. I just need to push past that frequency to get to... You know what? I might not even need to hold this. Okay. Okay. I need to go back in. So give me a minute. I need to go back to that ear. Now, this might not actually be on this actual Earth. It might be when we slip into the new one. And this is all created. But I see, when I first walk into this reality, I can see, it just looks like a milky quartz. Do you know what the milky quartz looks like? Mm-hmm. It's like a white, but see-through milky white. Like, almost like if somebody took a piece of glass and poured milk over it, right, and it kind of just smeared. And it's not matted, it's glossy. It's not a matted look. Now the base parts look matted with a different color. And it's not like a white, it's more of a darker maroon, pink looking. But as I'm standing, I look up and there's people in the sky. There's nothing there. Like, you can tell they're working with some kind of contraption, but there's no contraption. It's just like people in the air. It's the weirdest shit ever. Like, you can tell that they're pressing things. So it's either they're in this contraption, they can see everything that they're pressing, but on the ground as you're looking up, all you see is people in sitting positions. You're just like, what the fuck? And they don't have like peach looking bodies. Our race eventually elevates to a more iridescent vessel covering. It's not like this peach with muscles and things like that. It's more of a... Oh man, it's just really difficult to put into words. Okay. If you took 2 crystals and you slam them together real hard, like actual real ones, they spark. Maria says the crystalline body of the vessel is kind of like a crystal when you smash it together. It heals from the inside out, and it doesn't really need like muscles. I mean, it has a structure, but it doesn't need muscles to like pump anything or filter anything, because these bodies don't get sick like the way these bodies do, where it needs veins and blood and things to like pump the liver, pump the heart, or filter in toxins to get rid of toxins. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm able to go from the ground to the craft just by thought. So this is definitely a transwarp stage of existence. It's definitely transwarp. It's like the second you think of it, you're there. Like when I wanted to go to the building to look at it more, I was there. The energy just manifested and shifted, and I was there. We have more power with our minds than we understand. It's so powerful how our minds work. So I jumped from the ground up to this craft. And it kind of does. It kind of, like, when you're in it, it kind of looks like Leonardo's, like, swirly thing. Mm-hmm. But it's not a structure that would have, like, wood planks and fabric and things like this to make it fly. it's actually like a pulsating, there's a crystal, a big crystal in the middle center. It's not on a table. It's almost like it's in midair on this platform that glows. This platform glows different colors to, I guess, what warp speed you want to go to. So, like, let's say green is some kind of portal that transwarps you to some kind of realm or reality or dimension. And that color lights up and it takes you. And the crystal doesn't light up that color. It stays the same. But it's almost like energetically you can, like, if we try to see energy, we can't, right?
Right.
Okay. But in this reality, you can see where energy goes. You can actually look at a tree and see the aura pulsating. Like the living life source that it's pulsating at. It's aura, it's energetic auric field. It's the coolest thing. Like I keep looking at this tree and it's like pulsating like this yellow that goes mixed in like with a baby pink. But it's like colors that aren't from here. Like these colors, the color I can describe it to is to a pink, but it really isn't a pink. Do you kind of...
Right. It's just a whole different color.
Yeah. It's like mixed in with iridescent colors, but if I would have to pick one primary color that it pulsates at, it would be like yellow to pink. So there's a guy at the front, and there's not like a counter, it's just like... Oh, it's the weirdest shit. Okay, so I've never been in this timeline before, so I'm kind of a little overwhelmed right now because I've never seen these spaceships before. These are different. I've been in different spaceships, but these ones are muy caliente. Like, top notch. These are the spaceships you want. Very nice. Very cozy, very... Like the air is not cold or warm. It's just like mellowy. And the atmosphere when you go in, it's just so warm and loving. You just want to like get a blanket and snuggle up. I can't explain it other than that. But I'm looking and he's sitting on like a clear dome that seems to be comfortable. It's not like hurting him at all. It's not like a couch or a chair. It's like a dome that kind of forms to the compression of the aura, is what Maria says. It's compressing to the aura. So I'm looking at what he's trying to... Okay, so there's no like dashboard or anything like that. It's almost like he thinks of the direction and this, like something like of a crystal color comes up on this like screen, but it's not like on a... I'm trying to find the words. It's not on like a counter or a dashboard like a car or an airplane or anything. It just comes in midair. And then he's like pressing things. I don't know what he's pressing because I think I would have to have like the actual training to do something like this. But the thing is, this world... There's no training. Like there's not like you take 4 years of college to get to be a teacher or something like that. This training's unique. It's almost like you get to a certain point in your abilities and you're either good with spaceships or you're good with the people or you're good as a mentor. And as your soul grows into an ability, that ability takes form into some type of benefit for that race. It's not they don't call them jobs. They call them benefits that are a type of ability that benefits the race. There's like no money involved or anything like this. It's like everybody coming together to make this all run smoothly. And for it to run smoothly, everybody has to pitch in and do their ability that they are best born at. Okay, now I'm walking. It's so cool. It's not a sidewalk, but when you walk, it lights up. It's the coolest shit. Like each step you take, your footing vibrates. It's the coolest thing. It's almost like your steps are connected to the realm. So each step you take, it vibrates out like a network into the trees and into the buildings. And like I take a step and it goes up this tree. Like I take another step and it goes up into the building. Like what? It's the coolest shit I've ever seen. Okay, so I'm walking and I want to go into one of the buildings. I just haven't decided which one. Nobody's even trying to talk. I don't think that they know I'm here yet. It's almost like I'm hidden. Oh my God, that's how they do it here. Maria says they do this, where they're observing us. They're like literally right over our shoulder. They have no idea what the hell we're doing. Like, say for example, you didn't know what the hell painting was. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't know what he was doing with the dashboard or, with the buttons. But say you had an alien race that was hidden and was channeling through and didn't know what painting was and was just like, well, they're using some kind of tool. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yes.
That's how I feel. And Maria says that some races have done that where they've channeled through, come into our timeline, and were hidden and was able to view things. Like I am now. These people have no idea that I'm here.
Oh my God, that is wild.
So I'm able to walk among them and not be detected. Because I went to go say something to this lady and she walked right past me like I wasn't there. So I'm thinking they don't know I'm here. He said, if you want, I could walk with you. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. So he's standing here in your house. And he's coming into the timeline with me. He just turned to me and goes, I really like art.
So he likes to draw.
Which is why he had me doodle first, because he thought that would be an easy way for me to communicate with him.
Communicate with him.
He's like, I understand crystals, but I don't understand your crystals. Like, what? So I'm like we're sitting here talking. Sorry, I don't know how fast I'm going for you guys.
No, you're good. You're good.
Because literally I've been here for two days. I would sum it up.
Oh,
Their time. This is my second day. There's no sleeping. There's just they don't sleep.
They don't need sleep.
They don't need sleep. And it's always sunny. There's no fucking nighttime. Like what? So anyway,
that's neat.
Well, we've been sitting and talking about crystals. Like I was talking about the lapis and like what colors would be great for him, and he's like, oh, lapis. Like what is that? Like, well, explain that to me because we don't have crystals like you guys. Like your crystals are way different. He's like, they're at a good frequency. He goes, but they're really dense. And I was like, and see, we think they're high.
Right.
We think they're high vibrational. And he's like, He goes, you should see our crystals. You haven't seen nothing. Like, oh, well, that's great. That'd probably blow my head off. That's how much high vibration they are.
That wouldn't work
he started laughing.
That wouldn't work here.
I said, it'll be like a bomb going off. It's great.
Totally.
Oh my God, I don't think we could. No. Well, technically, in a way, we did get one. It would be Jesus. He would be the high vibrational crystal. That's why everybody's having headaches. It almost feels like your head's exploding. That's why I said to him, I said, if you brought one of your crystals to me, my head would explode. Okay, so I'm sitting in this like domey circle thing that looks like a tube, but it doesn't suck you in. It's the weirdest shit, but it like, you don't sit on it. It almost like, I guess because I'm heavier in energy, because I'm here, or I'm from here. Well, no, I'm from California, but do you know kind of what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're from
I'm channeling through this body, so
right.
This body went with me. So I'm more dense and heavy, so this thing kind of like lifted me up. Okay, he wants to take me to the hospital wing. He put something on me to give me like a sickness, so I'm not feeling like myself right now. I actually feel like I'm gonna vomit. And he said that's a normal human effect. But he said if something were to happen to this world where we would get an infection of some sort from an outside spatial source, our hospital wings are prepared and ready to remove it. And I'm like, remove it? Because normally we can't remove it. It just, I mean, what would you call that? It just takes a course.
It has to run its course.
Run its course. Well, they don't do things like that. So I'm going into this hospital wing with him. Actually, we're getting permission because it's off limits to unauthorized beings that don't benefit that area. Now, anybody can go in, and they call it a divine or a light source healing, that anybody can go in and just get rejuvenated. It's almost like, you know those little bottles that like sheets you take and you get like a burst of energy?
The energy drinks, yes.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, because he made me lay on this thing, and it was almost like I just took like a bunch of coffee and I was like, woo! What's next? Because I popped up and I'm like, wow, that's a jolt. He goes, yeah, but most of us don't react like that. I go, well, you're not this girl. Okay, so I get off this thing, and then we went into the high clearance area. And they don't really have it's not doctors. It's some kind of like, I mean, in human terms, I would say it would be like a healing expert of advancement in their field, that specialize in that ability, where they're able to, okay, so basically, as we were walking past one of the rooms, I saw one of the beings on one of the beds, and it's not a bed, it's almost like they're in midair. But when you go in, you can actually see that they're on something that has lights, and it's like, these lights are shooting up and do-do-do-do-do, but there's nothing there, like, containing the lights. It makes no sense to me. So she's, like, doing something in midair with these, like, I want to call them, like, strings attached to dots that are attached to, these beings work with auras. They don't have, like, muscular organ structures.
Right, so it's more,
yeah, they're and the gravity's different. He was able to adjust my body to stay gravitated, but their gravity's like way different. I mean, they look like they're gravitated to the ground, but they're not. It's almost like if I want to go up and sit on a cloud, all I have to do is push off and I'm up, and I'm sitting on a damn cloud. That's why they're able to be in these crafts where there's nothing. And I don't even know, I mean, when he was sitting in that thing, I don't think it's a seat. I think it's some kind of thing where he's, like, connected to it somehow. Do you know kind of what I'm saying? Like, He doesn't need to sit, but, like, him just sitting in that position connects him somehow. I can't, okay, anyway. So, yeah, like, it's almost like you're manipulating the energy. There's no, like, gravitation unless you want yourself to stay down. Do you know what I'm saying?
yes.
Okay, so when I was walking past that one room, he was a different color. He didn't look like the rest of the beings at all. He was more of like a blue hue than the rest of them, which, I mean, like, immediately you knew something's off. Something isn't right. So he looked like he was resting, not like sleeping or unconscious. It was more like, I'm taking a rest, I'm taking a breather. And he wasn't feeling anything she was doing, but you could tell with each, like, swing of her finger of what she was doing, and I'm just repeating some of the stuff I saw her doing. And then she did something like this where it almost looked like she was tying something, but she wasn't tying something. It was almost like she was switching a string with another string, and this string went over this way. But each time she did that, like a part of the aura would light up, like a string almost, or like a zap. But he didn't feel any of it.
That's wild.
Okay, so I went past that room. And we started going into, and I saw like a little child in another room, and she was just kind of standing there looking at me. I think she was waiting to be seen. No, she wasn't waiting to be seen. Okay, that specific room, he said, which actually goes into like a dome. It's like a triangle dome. It's weird. It's for the little people. They call them little people.
Little people.
Well, not little people. My human word for their word is human little people. But it kind of went into like a triangle like this. And then there was like a dome over top with like a big bright light. And there was lots of like red colors to this room. Like almost like it was vibrating like a red. So I feel like there was something like emotionally going on with her, like maybe she wasn't settling herself, and this red light was supposed to like bring more of a creative passion calm, because these beings are very creative and they're very passionate with what they do. Even though they're like very calm, it's almost like a calming passion. I can't, like, you know, when people get passionate.
Yes.
Here, they don't act out like that. They're like a calm, passionate. Like he says there's substance of energy to keep the vessel going. Isn't like food, like we eat. It's something else. Oh my God. He says, we're very excited for your realm. We've been watching your realm very closely. He said, our vessels are in the skies. We make shapes because the vessels are see-through.
Oh, okay. Right.
You know what I mean? They're able to cloak themselves, but the vessels themselves are see-through. You can't see them. So they go into the clouds and make shapes, and they're still able to observe.
That's neat.
He said, actually, we've been coming there quite often. And he said, I have to be honest.
Oh, jeez. This ought to be good.
He says, Earth is kind of like your soap operas. You never know what's going to happen. He goes, there's always... He's like, you always have drama going on.
Drama.
And I go, yeah, we're pretty intense race. He goes, it's very entertaining.
Yep, I agree.
He goes, we don't have that kind of stuff at our place, our planet, our realm. He said, it's just, there's nothing really exciting goes on. He goes, I mean, the most exciting thing is like somebody got a new ability and everybody wants to learn about it. It's like, it's the most excitement they get. Or somebody advances in their ability and they're like, oh, what'd you advance to? I mean, could you imagine that being here? That'd be awesome. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all encouraging. They encourage each other's ability. They don't have like ego attached where they're jealous of it. It's almost like, we need to get you to the next level of your ability. How do we do that? And how do we do it now? like that's how this race is. Like they work off auras and abilities, whereas Earth is more technology, like what level of abundance can you get at? Like, do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, who can I step on and get to this level?
Yes. Cutthroat.
Yeah, they don't do that there.
Someone asked, do they have relationships and marriage?
They have mates. There's no such thing as marriage.
What's the name of it?
I tried asking that, and he said he cannot reveal that just yet. He's not allowed, because it'll give too much away to a timeline.
Okay. Are they assisting us? Can they help.
They're not assisting, they're observing in order to better that timeline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do they communicate with us?
Again, unless you have authority to communicate, like I just did today, I was given authority.
Right.
No, they are observers only.
Okay. Those okay questions?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do
Oh my goodness.
The belly speaks.
No, my throat spoke. It was like, "Rrr." Oh my god, this energy's insane. Okay, keep going.
do they have animals or pets? Something like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I did not see. I didn't see any animals. Not one. Not a cat, nothing. I think that's a human thing. Because humans need some kind of like companionship because they
Right.
always feel alone.
Yes.
This race doesn't feel alone. They could be doing something by themselves for days and they're like fine.
And they're hunky with that.
Yeah.
Can you tell what dimension it's from? Are they allowed to say what dimension? I don't know anything about that.
It looks to me like between 9 and 10th. And a lot of people don't know this, but right now in the cosmic authority, races that have been created by the higher source, which humans call God, which is not the name he goes by, but whatever, the highest realm they can get to of enlightenment and understanding and learning is the 15th dimension. So we have
Wow.
a ways to go. There's
Long ways.
15 dimensions.
Can he tell us his name? Or does he have a name?
It's like clicking. It's clicking noises. I can't put a name to... Okay, wait, hold on. He said he'll try. Because, see, Okay, it's kind of like this. I don't speak their language. Their language is more like clicks and slurs. There's a telepathic translator that when you go to these realms, it kicks in. And what they say gets translated through telepathic ability to what I can understand. So I'm going to try to get him to... okay, where's my pen?
It's inside the book there.
Onion, on ANAYANO. Onion?
Onyo?
No, there's no O at the end. It's almost like the O
Onion.
is silent.
Oh, okay.
Onion. See, I want to go click.
You wanna
right in the middle of
click.
that. Onion. Like that. That's
Right.
how they sound. That's how they sound. It's like onion. That sounded like Chinese, but no, that's not it.
was
Okay,
just
wait,
gonna
wait.
say, it's not like a
I'm
Chinese.
trying to make it okay. Onion. Like it's almost like you're clicking shit in your throat. It's not even from your freaking mouth. It's like from your throat. You're clicking and slurring somehow. I can't. I'm gonna butcher
You're
it.
not equipped.
So okay.
Does he have an age?
So embarrassed right now.
Does he have an age? Or do they
There's
have
no
an age?
age.
There's no age.
See, their way of thinking is in capitalizing and putting them into a bottle. This civilization is so advanced, they think... See, I think what a lot of humans do is do this. Well, do they have an age? Do they have a name? Do they have a race name? What if I said they didn't have any of that? What if they don't categorize themselves? And they're just immortal beings that just drop the vessel and move on to another realm that maybe doesn't have a vessel. They're just energy floating around, telepathically talking and living amongst each other. I mean, I've seen souls merge with stars and understand and learn from a star. And they were just energy merging with a star. And then remember when I did that post and I went through all the spatial pictures and I was finding like actual human people in the star systems?
Yeah.
That's an actual soul that once was a human and now is in a solar system of a star, learning from that star. And they're showing themselves in that cluster saying, I'm here learning. And once I'm done, you'll have a chance to join. Do you see?
Right. What are they observing?
Us. Well, humans, not me. They know most of the star seeds and walk-ins. See, I hate saying star seeds. The waves and the walk-ins. I'm one of the walk-in volunteers. So they know everything that's been going on. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, pretty much done. Let's see, type of questions.
He basically said we are like you, but more advanced. Or we are like humans, more advanced. Because I'm not from here. I'm from California. So I don't want to use me as an example, but see, my race is very similar, but it's not. We're probably about 2 dimensions, or maybe even 1 dimension back from them. We're like on the brink of getting to that point of understanding of how they're doing these devices and things like, dude, kind of get what I'm saying? Like things like this. We're on the lines of getting to that point.
Right. Have any of them ever lived a life on Earth?
Yes. Only to observe and collect information and return.
Return.
And see, I'm not collecting. My race doesn't collect, we teach. And we teach sometimes abrasively and bluntly, but that's because we don't want to waste our time, and we're not wasting anybody else's time. Like, you accept the information or you don't. I'm not here to cater to you. And it's not even cater to you, it's cater to your ego.
Right.
Maria fixed that. She fixed that. She's like, no, you're catering to the soul. You're not going to cater to their ego, because if the ego's playing in and it's not accepting what you're teaching, it's not ready to hear what you're teaching, so move on.
Right.
Because it's going to take them a while to come back around. Like, I've had people that were following me for 4 years and were getting disgusted with what I was teaching, and then all of a sudden came back around, was like, I understand what you've been teaching this whole time. It just suddenly hit me. I can't cater to you. It's got to be you. You got to absorb the information and accept it or don't. I'm not here to make you accept it. You have to learn and understand it in your own sense, in your own learning level. And if you don't understand it, hopefully you make your way back around. He was spelling his planet's name. Heard of that race. You know what I just asked him? I was like, do you hide your race? Like, do you not let other realms and planets know you're around? He's like, oh, we have it very well hidden.
Of course. Yeah, you can understand.
Do you know they have pyramids like ours, but they're glass. He said it's just like how it works here. That's the thing that's similar. Connection with our realm and theirs. See, a lot of people don't understand that Earth has pyramids that if you could see with your soul or your spirit eyes, you could see an actual light pointing up into the sky, and each pyramid has a different color that points up. And they all align with a specific race or realm. So Jesus came from Orion, so there's pyramids specifically directed at Orion to call him back, which they did today. They basically showed him where to go, his soul or spirit to go. Now, there's mechanisms in each pyramid that if you flicked it, would change the dimension of all of Earth within a matter of seconds. Everybody would pop out and awaken and understand who they are as a soul in heaven, on different realms. Here, it would just be a mass awakening. And on the Sphinx behind the ear, there's a switch. If you flick it, it wakes everybody up. Now, each pyramid will wake up each race that belongs here. So if I'm from Kalenia, there might be a pyramid or a Sphinx or some statue, like the big heads. Why am I not remembering their names? The big heads, the land of the big heads.
Oh, I know who you mean now. Oh, geez, but I can't think. I know in my yeah.
They each have a mechanism.
Oh,
and
why hasn't nobody ever found it?
Because they're not ready yet, and they're not aware of it yet. We're aware of it, but it has to be aligned. If you do it before the alignment, it'll cause more chaos than aligning and balancing. It has to be at the right time, and it'll happen. It'll almost be like, everybody's just like, why are these stupid pyramids here? And then when that happens, it'll be like, oh, they're switches. They're light switches. Get it?
Yes.
They're light switches. That's what Maria calls them.
That's a lot. Somebody wants to know, do they have a message for us now? Those who are here for now. Do they have a message for us? For the people here?
The message he's giving is more of a mass message. It's not for
one particular. Yeah, that's what I think.
Live feed people, because I don't see these people killing people. Because his question, he turned to me and said, why do you kill your own race? He said, we can't wrap our heads around it. He said, we would never harm one of our own because they could hold an amazing ability that could do great things for the race. He said, you kill one of your own, who's to say that person doesn't elevate your race to an amazing point and your elevation? And then he said, and let's say you did kill the one person that was supposed to elevate you, then they got to come back through and filter through and try it again. And he basically said, your Jesus has done this. He's been killed off and has been filtered back through. He's like, you did it. He turned to me and he said, you remember your life as Lincoln. You were cut short. You weren't meant to cut short. That was him, by the way.
I heard it.
He said, your life is Anne Boleyn. You were to continue. You were meant to pull away from him. But he said your ego wanted him so much to love you that you lost sight of why you were there. Your mission was to change religion, to pull that society away from religion. And then that was to snowball to the other close remedies with their religions. Because if they could see how amazing you were doing without the religion and how it was killing people and controlling people, then these other countries, it would be like a domino effect. They would see how you've been flourishing without it all of a sudden. Because with it, you were dying. Without it, you were full of life. And as they saw this, they wanted it for their own. So it would be like a domino effect. But again, Dark cut me short. Lincoln cut me short. Mary Magdalene, I had to go into hiding. That I should have came out of the cave. I should have kept teaching. And I was still teaching, but it was like in hiding kind of thing.
In small doses.
Yeah. And then the Knights took over, and they just felt that I needed to be kept protected. Like, they were constantly around. I was never by myself. When I died, I wasn't alone. I was surrounded with a good many of our companions. So, every life I was cut short. And this life, I was almost cut short in February. And I came back again. And I thought that was going to happen this morning. I was like, that bus is taking me out. I'm going. The spaceship I was in, it was hovering above the buildings and was, I don't know if they were doing some kind of aura check. It almost looked like they were doing something to the planet itself through that machine. It was really interesting. And then there was ones like it up higher. It's almost like they were doing tiers. And then there's like ones that were flying around and doing stuff. And one shot up into space and went right into a portal. I saw that. The portal lit up bright blue, like a lapis lazuli color, like that color. It took off. I don't know where it went. And then the day after I was there, that blue light lit up in the sky, and the spaceship that had left had returned. You know, now I'm thinking about it, there was something in it. Like, I saw the people in the spaceship. There was more than one. There was 3. But there was, like, some kind of, like, clumpy white stuff. Like, I would say it was almost like iridescent snow. But it wasn't snow, but it was almost like they had it in one part of the spaceship. It was kind of like, almost looked like it was falling out of the spaceship, but it wasn't. And I feel like that's what they brought back. So I don't know if it's like something they use to build their buildings with, or, I mean, it could be some kind of substance. Like, there's alien races that come here to collect like gold and titanium and metals and things for their realm that they don't have on their realm, that they're able to come here for. Which is why one of the spaceships crashed on Rosalind. It was coming here to collect substances, and the frequencies didn't line up, and it lost control. Because their machines work off the energy of the planet. Do you ever notice? Actually, you probably don't notice unless you do the research. How when we get people saying they've gotten sightings, or that. You see a lot. You get a lot of people saying they've seen a spaceship, and it's like all over the news and blah blah blah. Do you ever notice like shortly after something happens, like a tornado or a snowstorm, something funky happens? Like, see, I wish I could go back on dates of like sightings, because when they come into our atmosphere, it fucks our equilibrium up. The energetic equilibrium of this earth gets messed up each time they bring their frequency too fast into our realm. And then they cause like earthquake. Like, I mean, if you go back and research it and you look up sightings and then like look up a couple days later or a couple weeks later, there's some kind of like catastrophe that happens. They're causing it by coming here.
By coming in.
Yeah, which is what happened. His equilibrium didn't balance with ours, and he crashed. It happens.
So you say they have a mate.
Yes.
Is that for reproducing? They have
Yes.
children? Okay. That's what someone wanted
But
to
he
know.
also said it's very nice because you find somebody with similar. It's almost like you find, okay, not to get gross, but if you were a guy, we'd be mates. Like, we would be very good companions because we're always laughing. We know each other's secrets. Like, we know everything. Like, my God, we would be the perfect couple. Everybody in the world would be like, I want to be them. Like, his energy's more male to me, but they don't have like a species sex. Like, they're both duality.
Right. They're the same, but
Yeah, they're the same. So they get along. Like, they pick. Okay, he doesn't say they pick it. He said their energies are drawn, and their energies kind of like, it's almost like if you took 2 strings and tied it into a perfect knot. That's how he explained it to me. Whoever you tie well with is who you mate with. And you usually have like the same abilities that you can correspond on. So like, let's say you have a bright idea with your ability, but you want to talk it over with your mate to see if they have a better bright idea with your ability. Do you know what I mean? Because they have the same ability. So
Right.
You're always advancing each other. That's what I see with this planet. They're always trying to advance each other. Like, who can get the highest ability? Because you're going to benefit our society better by having the best ability. Do you know what I mean?
yes, I get what you're saying.
But they don't have like an ego about it
right.
either.
It's not a competition.
No, but
Right.
they
They're
always
trying to
see
outdo
that
the
they
other
can better themselves.
Right.
And they better themselves by uniting each other through each person's great ability. And each time somebody gets higher in their ability, it just makes that whole concept that they're living in much better and more loving.
That's pretty, yeah.
That's what I get from that
Very
realm.
peaceful type of.
Okay, I'm going to a different realm. It was almost like I went on an elevator and went up. Okay, it felt like I went up, I went down.
Are we going to something else?
Yeah, it's really dark here. Like, there's lots of soot and rock, clay. Ooh. I just got jabbed in my head. There's no sky. It is flat. Like, if you went too far, it's almost like you would fall off the planet. It's very dark. I mean, you can see space. It's basically like you're standing on a platform and looking at space. This is insane. It's not a flat planet, and you can't fall off because the more you walk, you're just going around. It's like if I walked here from China, I'm not going to fall off. I'm just going to keep going around in a circle.
Going. Right.
But it looks like you're going to fall off. But each step you take, you just keep going.
You keep going.
But the visual cue that I have is if I keep walking, I'm going to eventually fall off. But you're not going to. See, when I first arrived, I saw this, looks like a big mound. It's rounded on the sides, but it kind of flattens out, and then it rounds off on the side. That was the first thing I noticed, and I kept thinking, why is that there? I am being approached by one of the representatives. It looks like he's wearing leather, but I don't think it's leather. This is definitely not one of the highest realms. I'd probably put this realm at... Okay, if we're at 5, I would probably put them at like 7 or 8. Maybe not even that. I would, no, because they definitely have a lot of different things going on that we don't have, so I would probably put it 7 or 8, right? Yeah. I did not make these. He just said, welcome to... Okay, this is definitely not a planet name, but maybe a place. Crutopia? Crutopia. C-R-U-P... No. C-R-U-T-O-P-I-A? Crutopia?
Is it a planet?
I'm thinking it's a place within the planet. Almost like Johnstown's in Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Kinda
gotcha.
get like that. I am Master Representative. Kaya. K-Y-A is the best way I can describe the translation. He's not speaking English. I'm getting a translation. K-Y-A. Kaya?
Kaya.
This is a guy. It's definitely a male. Oh, wait. You know, this planet kind of reminds me of Mars. I've been on Mars before. Did I tell you that?
You
Actually,
may have.
About 5 times I've been on Mars. The Mars men, there's no women, by the way. All men. It's just a land of men.
I wouldn't be on that
Big
planet.
burly guys, too. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's lands of women, too. No men, all women.
There you go.
Yeah, this land, like, the way it's laid out, kind of reminds me of Mars. Mars has more hills and stuff, though. It's not as flat, and you don't feel like you're falling off, either. But it's got that, like, red, burgundy crap going on. But this is, like, a lot darker. Like, they've got blacks and browns going on. And it's so dark. Like, it's not dark that you can't see. It's just, like, And it's not heavy either. When you walk, you're just like, oh, this is different. Like,
Right.
it's like I was on that
It's
realm.
not dreary and depressing.
Right. That realm was like bright and sunny, but it's not like depressing. It's just like, oh, well, this is just different. He keeps wanting to take me to the left, so I'm just gonna follow him. Okay, this definitely looks like, okay, it's metal, or some kind of different metal I've never seen before. It's got a lot of different, okay, I might be able to, I can't believe they're letting me see these symbols, because normally they don't show what's on their building. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This one here, God, it goes down. That's one. Okay, I gotta hurry up because he wants me to go inside, and I keep trying to. I don't want to tell him I'm looking at the symbols. Okay, that one's a hard one, but I'm gonna try to draw it out. Okay, I gotta go in. When I come back out, I'm gonna sneak another peek. But it's mainly these metal pieces that goes all around this dome. And definitely the dome is just like a topper to like an underground kind of thing that's happening. And on the metal, I almost want to say it's like maybe protection symbols to protect the dome that we're going in. You know, this race almost feels like sanctuary, like respectful or sanctuary, whereas I was able to joke with the other guy and this guy I can't. Like, he's like, let's go.
He's not the joking type.
Like, welcome to da 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 da. Come with me. Okay, I feel like I'm at the principal's office. Okay, so we're going down. It still looks like red clay. There's no handles. It's just steps going down. Ooh, it's getting brighter down here. This is weird. Okay, this changed drastically. What the fuck is happening? Okay, I just hit a landing that looks bright. I'm making a left, and the steps change to glass, but you can't see through. It's a different kind of glass. It's not a material we're used to. Okay. This race changed on me. Okay, he was once wearing leather, and now he is wearing all white. It was almost like as we were going down the steps, his clothes translucently changed. He's wearing a headpiece now. His clothes are white, almost like a creamy white. He got a lot taller.
Sounds almost like a camouflage.
No,
No?
I think it's an adjustment. Almost like, okay, Maria's giving me a great example. Okay, so on Earth we don't need suits. When we go to Mars, we need suits.
Right.
The atmosphere changed, so their biochemistry changed with it. Okay, so I made the left. I'm down in this cavern. There looks to be like a lot of tables. People are sitting and communicating. Some people are eating. Almost looks like a cafe, but it's not. It's a gathering of sorts. It's very open, very bright, drastic from the dark to the, it's weird. Okay, we're walking down a corridor. It looks like a corridor with lots of lights, because as I'm walking, I keep seeing flashes of lights like this. Okay, he telepathically opened a door, because there's no, like, it's not like Walmart, you step on the mat and opens. He just, like, literally, it was like, open. Okay, this must be like a special, meeting room. There is like this weird contraption on the wall. It is bright red. It almost looks like a big eyeball, but it's not an eyeball. It's like shaped like one. And it swirls. It has different red tones to it. It looks like it's coming off the wall, but it's like on the wall. I can't put it together. Anyway. There's a counter here. It's a seating area like you would have in like a doctor's office or something. Like I really want to draw it out. There's like lights shooting out from underneath this red thing. There's like lights coming out.
That's what's on the wall.
Yeah, and there's like this weird seating that kind of curves. And there's this really weird table in front of it with no legs. It's just like midair. It's just there. It's weird. There's probably legs, but I'm not really seeing where it's being attached. Like I'm not looking under it. He's sitting on the chair talking to me. I don't see like a whole lot of people. So there must be like, it's almost like an underground cavern that's highly technology based. Okay, he just said something to the wall and the wall came down. There's a bunch of screens. So now I'm looking at a bunch of flat, see-through, filmy screens. And they have different realms on all of them. There's different, I can see different races doing different things. Okay, there's Earth right there. Okay, he's explaining, we've been observing your race for a while now. Okay, so Mars is part of their ancestral bloodline. They come from the Mars. They navigated away from Mars so that they could accelerate their knowledge and wisdom because Mars was holding them back. It would be almost like what's going on here, I guess. Like, there's only so much you can take, and you're just like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I gotta go somewhere else. And you just make a spaceship and you go. You know what I mean? You find somewhere else to go. That's basically what I'm getting from them. They just traveled till they found another place, and they found something very similar to Mars, but they didn't want Mars. So they changed the electromagnetic force to it and manipulated the energy somehow so they could do this. I don't think that originally this planet was made for that. They somehow constructed it from their own knowledge of how to do it. But yeah, and it's almost like you can go like this and switch through the screens. You can actually, it's so cool, but in real time you can pause it and rewind if you miss something.
That's neat.
Or you can fast forward in the future and it hasn't even played out yet. That's kind of cool. I've never seen that before, but that's kind of cool. But yeah, you can, like, I was able to like kind of just go through the screens and just see all the different races. They have about 28 right now that they're watching, but there's, in their directory, I'm seeing about 47,000 that they have in their directory that they can be watching, but I'm only going through 28. I think he's doing that for me.
Right.
Because he could probably, from what I'm getting, look at every single one of them and not flick a blink.
What are they watching for?
How they can assist and help. They've been here many times, he said. Okay, that's weird. Have you ever seen... Okay, I see what he's doing. Okay, I see what he's doing. They can... Okay. Wrap your head around this one.
All right.
They have a portal system where they go through rock. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm putting together 2 and 2 now, how they were able to get down into that, because there is no way they would be able to drill that kind of substance on that planet. That shit is hard and dense. They were able to somehow manipulate and open it up without even digging. Like, just, what? Okay, you know those big bobbleheads?
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, what that land is called. It's like
I know.
something land. Earth land? No, Earth Island. Something Island.
Easter Island.
Easter Island. Okay.
Easter
Do you know what I just saw? I just saw one of those heads and one of these beings going into the head through a portal and coming out the head. Do you know that, big, it's out where the old Mayans were said to live, and their ancestors actually are still, some of their bloodline ancestors are still there. It's a door that looks like a key that's cut into the rock, the red rock. He keeps talking about the key and the red rock.
Yes.
That's their key to get here. He said they come through it. They just aren't seen. They're not being seen when they come in and out of it. It's still open. It's still active, he says. They are the key. They're the ones coming in and out. He said they come from the old Mayan... Mars comes from the old Mayan line. The old American Indian, the whole tribal, it all started with the Mayan, or the Mars. The Mars men all started that. It's their bloodline. It started with men, and then apparently some of these men were born as women, and they were changing their physiology to keep them as men, but some of these women that were born were uprising. They couldn't take it anymore. Like, we don't want to be men. We don't want to be you. So they started changing. Like, do you see how the concept after every 24,000 years changes?
It changes.
So this is where the Mars men started becoming Mars women and men. And then they advanced to this land, created it as their own, and some of them have come here as Mayans. They said that we are their ancestral bloodline.
Oh.
Oh,
Wow.
Do they have questions about this race? Because I'm going to just sit and talk with them for a minute.
Okay, you go ahead. I'll look.
I'm getting drained. I'm in the year 6447. If that was human years. What's that?
Nobody's really asking any questions. Somebody asked, how can you tell if they're friends or foe?
Oh, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't. I don't know why
do you walk down a street and you can just sense somebody's not?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's an intuition knowing.
Have they been in contact with our government?
No. They refuse to discuss anything with a government that keeps secrets and kills their own people. They said they have too many agendas and hidden outcomes, that they would never discuss things with such low beings, because they vibrate at such a low frequency that they wouldn't understand. Even if they did try to talk to them,
Right.
They wouldn't understand.
Somebody asked what his name was. I know you gave it already.
Yeah, I did. I don't remember.
What does his body look like? What is their appearance when you see them?
Okay, so when on the start, like it all changed. It's like I was dealing with two different beings within one. It's weird. They're definitely able to shapeshift. So when I first saw him, he had like a cape or something covering his face, but what I saw was like this, like somebody just touched me. It's almost like a chiseled, very dark skin, like a red, like if somebody smeared rust all over your face. It was like a rust color. Very chiseled, not scary, very broad chin. Like their chin was very chiseled and almost like indented in certain places, like almost like it had ridges, like rounding ridges that went like this, almost like maybe a fish fin, but they were little. He had a ridge here, and his head was somewhat encaved like to this ridge. And I could tell that this was an advanced race, because with advanced races you tend to get like a big of a head up here, and then it slowly slims in. Like my race, we have big heads here. There's no need for hair either. We don't really have hair. This guy didn't have hair either. He had pointy ears that actually kind of curved in, like they were pointy here, but then they would point up, and they had like ridges of indenting, and then like a little slit, and then the ear would kind of like curve like a hook in. It's fucking weird. Anyway, I've never seen an ear like that, but I was trying to pay attention, but I was more paying attention to the dome, because I was like, what are all these cool symbols? I get weird like that. I love symbols.
You like the symbols?
Yeah, because I'm like, is this light codes? What is this? It was definitely, I felt like it was a protection barrier, like almost like if somebody from another race were to enter it, these symbols would set off something down there to let them know somebody just entered that shouldn't be here. They're not of that code. I feel like all the beings have codes in them, and all the symbols on the metal pieces have all their codes on. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if that code didn't enter into that metal piece, then you weren't allowed in there.
Oh, okay.
And when I entered, he grabbed my hand real hard. It was almost like he was putting something in my hand so that I could go through. It was weird. I didn't see anything on my hand. It just, it was like a knowing, like I'm getting stamped with something so I can get into the party.
So do they reproduce in any way to have to? Well, that's one of the questions somebody asked.
I didn't see any kids. It was mainly adults or adult lifehood. Okay, so basically what I'm understanding is these are bodies that sustain themselves, and what you have is souls switching out. It's basically walk-ins.
Okay.
So if you want to go learn from this realm, you just switch out, and you're given a different code.
Okay. That makes sense. Are they here to help us? Somebody wanted to know. Or are they just here to...
He said yes, only because he doesn't want this realm to turn into their realm. There was a lot of war on Mars. That's why it became so desolate like it had. He said, we were once like you, but we were able to advance. And he said, and when you advance and you realize all the things that you were able to do with energy and vibration and manipulating the frequencies to your will, because you are truly the creator of all of it, he said, it's limitless. There's so many things you can do. And he said, and we are still advancing ourselves. We are still learning, and we are excited to keep learning. We want to grow. Like it's definitely a united clan. It's almost like a wolf gang. Like you're in.
Does he have any advice for Earth, for the people? That's what someone asked.
He was already answering. He said, be yourself. Be your true self. Don't put on a mask for anyone, because all you're doing is hiding your true self. Why would you hide yourself? Just so you can make somebody else happy? He goes, when really you can be yourself and place people around you, like our clan. He's basically, because I said I went the wolf route, so he's using using words that I would understand. He's like, you could create your own clan that accepts you for you. Why would you cater and change who you are for somebody that isn't really truly part of your clan? Because if you do decide to end up being yourself,
I heard that.
if you truly be yourself and they don't accept your true self, then they didn't really accept you in the first place. They accepted a falsehood of who you really are. He said, pull down those dark cloths that you place over yourself, because you're really just basically hindering your own soul from learning. Like, you're the one making yourself depressed and heavy because you're not truly doing what you really want to do. That's why God gave you free will, he said. God gave you free will and you're not even using it. It's a gift that you're not even opening and enjoying. He's right.
Yeah, he is. Very much so. Somebody asked, do they eat like we do? Do they?
Yeah, because remember I said it almost felt like a cafe, but it wasn't.
Right.
But it's not food like ours. I mean, it looks good, but I don't know if I'd ingest it. I mean, it's it almost like mushed up meat. That's kind of what it looks like. Mushy up meat and mashed potatoes, that kind of thing.
Huh.
Like, it's mushy food, but like
It's a
something you'd
substance.
feed your grandfather that doesn't have teeth. That's basically it. I mean, it smelled good, but I don't think it's something I'd eat.
Do they have teeth?
They're like real teeny. It's weird. It's not like ours. And there's like 1,000 of them. Like, if they would smile, you'd be like, don't do that again. It's like little teeny teeth, but there's like 2 rows and there's like thousands of them. Like, what? Do you brush your teeth for like 30 minutes?
No, Robin, there's no children. She didn't see any children.
No, it's like almost like a soul recycling. Like, one soul is like, yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go. And they leave, and then another soul replaces.
Okay, that's
These are sustaining vessels that just, they don't age or anything. It's just they keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, eventually they're gonna die down or die out, and then they'll elevate to something else. We still got activity over there.
I heard something outside.
Yeah,
Okay.
something's trying to get in, and Michael's dealing with it. They don't see. Dark doesn't want me talking to Galactic, or jumping timelines, or time looping, or time traveling, because they can't control what's being said or what's being done, because they don't want them learning about these other realms, because then it pulls them away from the programmed religion and the programmed politics that they placed here to control the human race, because they think the human race is stupid. When all these other advanced races are above this, they don't have I didn't see any politics, I didn't see any religion. I saw a unified race encouraging and inspiring one another through Christ consciousness and love. They've risen and have gotten to that point of understanding who Christ is, why he is, what he was teaching, why he was teaching it. Christ, Jesus, basically taught the energy we're in right now, the Aquarius. Unified love. We're getting out of the Capricorn. Granted, I'm a Capricorn. The Capricorn was programming. It was segregating. It was separating. It was organizing, categorizing. That's what Capricorns do. They organize, they categorize, they have goals that they reach. And the goals are marriage and kids and then da-da-da-da-da. You have to do this at this age and you have to do this at this certain point. And if you're not married, you're either gay or you da-da-da. We're getting out of that. That's all crumbling. You don't have to get married. Marriage was basically an ownership. It was a dowry. It was a way for one person to gain another person's family fortune. That's basically it.
Yeah.
They wanted land, and it was their way of their family heritage to gain lots of land through marriage and families excelling through money and land. This wasn't back in Jesus' day. They didn't have any of that. This was man-made. Man-made. You don't see marriage in heaven. You don't see religion in heaven. You don't see politics in heaven. That is man-made. And I've never done races on live, have I?
Mm-mm.
It's
No.
the first time.
Yep.
I know, I agree. They do it again.
They enjoyed that.
Because they feel that humans should know about these races, because it'll show them that they can excel, that they don't have to be stuck in something, that they can get to a certain point of heightened understanding, higher consciousness of thinking and doing and being. Oh, I'm really dizzy. Oh. I want to go back to that crystal land. That was fun. I
enjoyed that.
I think I might go back and visit on my own. That place it reminded me of home a little bit, actually. You know, the funny thing is I can go to all these other realms, but I can't go back to my home.
Not allowed.
No, because I'm not allowed to see the advancement, because it would be like, say for example, you left space and you went on a journey to Jupiter. And let's say, because time's different, so let's say time sped up. And let's say you left when you were 20, and by the time you came back to Earth, it was 60 years in advancement.
Oh,
and you were
wow.
still at your age 20. And you showed up and everybody you knew died. That's how it's going to be for me when I go back. It's going to be all different. So, I don't know how advanced they're going to be. I mean, it could be, it could be literally just 5 years and I'll go back to normal. I mean, the time there could be slower than here. I don't know. I won't know until I go back.
So you go back.
And then I'll realize, like, how bad I missed, or .maybe didn't change why. Check out the website, the Divine Medium. It's DIVI, not DE, DIVINE, .com. If you're looking for any kind of spirit connection, talking to loved ones, talking to your guides, getting an Akashic reading done, all this is on the website. If you're looking for crystals, we have probably the world's largest selection. There's other great selections out there, but we have a very large selection. It's under crystalcovespa.com, crystalcovespa.com. And these actually will be up on the website. But tonight we wanted to offer these as gifts for the new year to 5 lucky people. The crystals in my hand, the reason I picked these ones is because we're working with crystalline energy, which is a high frequency stone energy. So these are the aura quartz. These are connection to galactic realms, realms like the Lemurians, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Atlanteans. These are the frequencies that they connect to. So we wanted to offer these. Yes, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the whole live feed. I'm actually going to download it, and actually I might even break it apart myself tonight and just launch it to YouTube. So you can get both parts and the whole part. Thank you guys. Thank you, Justina. Oh, we're running out of time. Just in time, we're getting shut down. So you guys are amazing. Just keep remembering, you guys are celestial beings. You can create whatever reality you want. Think high frequency. Think, I can do this. I can create this. I can do whatever I feel I want to learn from. And there's no right, there's no wrong. There's just me experiencing and learning. And I'm going to make amazing things with this new energy. Use this frequency to your advantage. Okay, thank you guys, and I can't wait to get these out to our winners. So you guys have a good night, and thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I love you guys. Bye.